Hey, it's Van, contemplative coach, guiding you to your core with intuitive practices and mindfulness techniques will strengthen your connection to your core. So I want to welcome you to Imperfect in an Uncertain World, resources for living with authenticity and purpose. Let's start with a question. Do you find it hard to let go? If your answer is yes, let's talk about avoiding friction burns on your soul. Now, the more you hold on to what was, the slipperier it becomes. It's hard to say, slipperier it becomes. In a surprising moment, it slides free of your clinging grasp. Detached, you plunge into change, but as the letting go happens, you get those friction burns on your soul. So, how many times have you held on to something long past the time it brought you peace and balance? This could be a job that no longer suited you, a relationship grinding to a slow halt, or a situation that just doesn't fit anymore. Instead of letting go, you gripped it more and more tightly. You might have found that the situation, the relationship, the job, whatever you cling to, got slipperier and slipperier until it just eventually slid from your grasp. And as it slid out of your life, perhaps you got a friction burn on your soul. And I want to tell you, I bet that hurt more than you ever thought it would, because I can tell you those friction burns on my soul have hurt. But letting go is one of the toughest things that I've ever done. And perhaps you can say the same. I remember a relationship that I continued to contort myself into. Intuitively, I knew that no matter how much of a pretzel I became, the contortions would never be enough. My clinging behavior was not healthy. I would go so far as to say it was very unhealthy. But I couldn't stop holding so tight. Eventually, the relationship slipped from my grasp. Um, and I'm going to tell you, it really felt bad, those friction burns. Um, and these friction burns took a long time to heal. That experience is not one that I want to have anytime soon. Now, in retrospect, there were many signs, there were a lot of signs that I had convinced myself that the frayed rope of that relationship was repairable. I was wrong. Only later did I realize that it wasn't the relationship that I couldn't let go of. It was the fantasy, the illusion that I had created about this perfect man that I was so lucky to spend the rest of my life with. And so that got me to really beginning to wonder about how many things, people, or situations we cling to, not because they are authentically what we need, but because of the fantasy or illusion we create about them. How many friction burns on our soul could we avoid if we were just honest with ourselves? Probably a lot. So, what do we do to avoid those friction burns? Ask the question, what am I clinging to? Listen to the answer. Name it. The naming can be a general statement, or it can provide details about what you're clinging to. It can provide additional clarity. And then what I want you to do is dig deeper into your clinging with the question, why am I holding on? Answering that why gets you closer to identifying the underlying fantasy, the illusion that wraps so tightly around us, so tightly around you, that your reasons for holding on are obscured. Sometimes we can come up with 35 million different reasons about why we're holding on, but those reasons are hiding the truth of it. Then I want you to ask, what will my life look like when I let go and free fall into peace and balance? Because that's what happens when you let go. When you let go, instead of having it let go of you, instead of those friction burns, you free fall into a place of peace and balance. So, what I want you to do is whenever you say what will happen, paint a picture with images, words, put your thoughts and emotions really into it. So, if you look back on that, you're going to ask the tough question, why am I clinging? Or what am I clinging to? You're going to listen to the answer. You're going to dig deeper into the question with why am I holding on? And then you're going to ask, what would my life look like if I actually let go? What you'll find is with this practice, it helps you gain greater perspective. And maybe you find a way to let go of what is fed by the fantasy, the illusion, while still being in the situation. With a new perspective, your grip loosens and you're not going to cling so tightly. So instead of being attached or detached, you become what's called non attached. And with the non attachment, that's where you find the peace and balance. Or you know what? You might realize that it's time without any drama, without any angst, to let go, and you free fall into a new way of being. And with the decision to be non attached, you create the path to a soft landing and a place of peace and balance. So I can tell you that one of the things that I've discovered is that when I don't let go, the plunge into change can be a slippery down ride down a slope of illusion and fantasy. But when I let go, the free fall becomes a controlled glide into a new place of balance and peace. So what I have to say is that life is about letting go of the fantasy, the illusion. It's about trusting your free fall into change will be peaceful. It's about your choice to let go or to cling to what no longer suits you. And I want to say that again. It's about your choice. So I want to thank you for watching my video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Additional resources are available at vanessafhurst.com. Are you ready for some contemplative coaching? We will use intuitive techniques and mindfulness practices to really help you strengthen the connection to your core, to be the best person that you will ever be. But no matter what you do today, look for ways to let go so you can reduce the friction burns on your soul. Namaste.